So before I start, I just wanted to apologize for there not being any videos in the last couple of days. One, I was out of town for a bit. Two, I haven't really been feeling well. And three, I took a little bit of a holiday break for myself, including my birthday. And I wanted to thank everyone for voting on the Twitter poll I put up yesterday. If you want to be part of any future Twitter polls, I will put the link to my Twitter page down below, and you can follow me there for when I put one up. So if you clicked on the title of this video, you know what's coming. This is the first mock draft of the year. I don't tend to do a lot of mock drafts. I'm not really a big fan of doing mock drafts. I'd rather do positional rankings and big boards, but when you're a draft channel, it's kind of expected, and that's one thing I've kind of gotten away from that I have no problem getting back into, which is some more mock drafts. So again, these are kind of based off of my own rankings and kind of based off of what I expect the team to do and what I hear teams are going to do. So it's a little combination of all three that make up what this is. I'm not going to go through all 32 picks. Those are also going to be down below in the description. I'm just going to go through probably 4 or 5 picks that may stand out. Starting with, and I'm just going to lump these two together, both Cleveland picks. So 1 and 12. At 1, they can't overthink this. The best player in the draft is available because they have the first pick, and they shouldn't pass on Myles Garrett, who was the best in the class by a mile, to pick a quarterback. It's not worth it. You can't overcomplicate this. If Myles Garrett is there, you take Myles Garrett. And then at 12, as you can see down below, there are no quarterbacks for them to take, so I have them taking a running back in Dalvin Cook. Why would I do that? Because a good running back can take off any sort of pressure from a bad or inexperienced quarterback like Cody Kessler. Look at what Dallas did. Dallas had Ezekiel Elliott, who is an amazing running back, who took the pressure off of Dak Prescott, who was good in his own right, too. But nonetheless, a good running back can be just as effective. Hopefully they have some linemen up there in Cleveland that know how to run block. Next, let's go with number 7. I had to get this one approved by my friend who's a Chargers fan, and that's DeShone Kizer, the quarterback out of Notre Dame. Now, I am not super high on Kizer. I have him as a late first-round prospect, but obviously needs at quarterback are going to push guys up the board. And as you see, Jamal Adams is off the board. Mike Williams is off the board. Might be a little too early to go for Corey Davis. So why not protect Phillip Rivers in another way? Listen, that offensive line is trash. And Rivers takes an absolute beating. And as much as an offensive tackle would make sense here, there's not a good enough offensive tackle there. So you get yourself an insurance policy that you can kind of sit behind Rivers, who may only have 1 or 2 years left anyways. And you let Rivers teach DeShone Kizer the ins and outs. And Kizer's a better athlete than Phillip Rivers has or ever will be. So you're kind of moving your team to that next step, especially considering that they're going to have a new coach. The new coach is probably going to want a quarterback moving forward for the future. I just think it makes too much sense to pass up. Moving on, 20, Denver, Ryan Ramczyk. Again, there's going to be a new coach. Could very easily be Deshaun Watson if available, if they don't feel like Paxton Lynch or Trevor Siemian are the guy. But regardless, their offensive line is not all that great. They keep missing on some pretty bad tackles. I can't even think of some of the ones that they've missed. Ty Sambrailo the other year. They've got a lot of mediocre tackles, and I think getting the best tackle in the class at a discount with the tackle class being so weak and being able to get him at 20, it's just too good not to pass up. 22, Miami, Jabrill Peppers. Peppers has fallen down my board a bit, and he's getting a lot more flack in the media now than I would have anticipated. Because what do you do with him, really? He's too small to play outside linebacker at only 205 pounds. He's not very fluid in coverage. He doesn't have great ball skills. He's a great punt returner and a kick returner, but he doesn't have one solid position. That's a case where only being good at one thing helps you a lot than being pretty good at a whole bunch of things. Like, he played 13 different positions this year or something ridiculous like that. But the thing was, he didn't stand out at any of them. So where do you put him at the next level? Obviously, he's going to be a first-round pick, and I just think that Miami's going to take the best player available, and they're just going to be able to find a place to put him. And the last pick I'm going to talk about here is 26 and Houston. And I have them taking Harold Landry, a edge rusher out of Boston College. Now, a little bit of backstory. Harold Landry was someone I came into the year, I knew about him, but I didn't know much about him. I watched a game or two from last year. He was pretty good. And then about 3 weeks ago, I started watching a little bit more tape on him, and I went, no one's catching on to him. He's leading, the nation in sacks. Maybe he's like a Yannick Ngakoue type guy from last year. I had him in that mid-third round, like that 70 to 75 range on my board, and I heard nothing about him. I'm thinking, maybe I've caught onto a gem. And then I watched more tape, and he rose. And then I watched more tape, and he rose. And then I started hearing that he was getting first-round buzz, and I went, okay, so as good as I thought the guy was, he's even better than I thought he was. And then I went back and watched more, and the dude is a freak. He's 6'5", he's 250, he moves very fluidly, and he just makes it look so easy. There are questions as to whether or not he'll come out for the draft. He may decide to stay next year, because if he stays next year, he could be in contention for a top 10 pick. But I do ultimately think that if he's guaranteed a first-round pick this year, then he should come out. So yeah, like I said, all 32 teams down below, or all 32 picks down below, not all 32 teams. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and you know what? Leave your own mock drafts down below. I will read all of them, and I will get back to you on all of them. Until next time, guys, take it easy.